Good afternoon, everyone present here. Welcome to the celebration of National Innovation Day organized by SNU IIC Council. I, Sudeshna Mukherjee, and my co-anchor Bashupriyo Chattopadhyay, both from the Department of Law. We have back-to-back events lined up today to celebrate the 92nd birth anniversary of our 11th President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was always a man of new ideas, innovations and development that had pushed India to the global arena of entrepreneurship and innovation. We are very grateful to organize these events on his birth anniversary.
The first event of the first quarter is the motivational talk, in which we have very fortunate to have Mr. Digvijay Chakraborty, and the second event is the workshop on innovation thinking, in which we have Mr. Shoikat Mitro, Innovation Ambassador of IIC. Coming to the first event, we are eagerly waiting to hear from our speaker, Mr. Digvijay Chakraborty, who is the CEO of Sun Ecotech Ventures. He is someone who is in the industry for years. He has always been a person who has been enthusiastic regarding environment, and his entire work is on sustainable innovation. We all know what sustainable innovation is. The creation of something new which improves the particular environmental ideas based on social, economic and other cultural sides. Now, we have chosen sustainable innovation as the topic for the day. Now, I would like to say something about the role of sustainable innovation. Particularly, we all know that after pandemic, sustainable innovation is a very crucial subject on this social perspective.
Our honorable speaker for the day is a very honorable guest, that is Mr. Chakraborty, who is the CEO of Sun Ecotech Ventures and whose major focus areas are energy efficiency, ecological sustainable development, reducing harmful waste, reducing bad environmental impact, making best use of available resources, and to ensure safe and pollution-free environment. Now, we would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Now we would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, to inaugurate this session and to deliver his speech.
Thank you, dear students. I can see so many of you are standing over here, but which is very important, because we want to have actually this Innovation Council of Sister Nivedita University and real success stories. You know, this Innovation Council, this IIC of Sister Nivedita University, I am really grateful to Madam Hena Bose for actually taking the charge of the president of this council. And after that, we started a number of programs, and henceforth we are going to have many more programs where the involvement of you, my dear students, are very important. Now, today's, as you just mentioned by the moderators, that we have with us a very renowned personality, Digvijay Chakraborty, who is going to discuss about the sustainable innovation. Now, you know that when the UNESCO started its sustainable developmental goals, and they set it up, the sustainable development goals, with 17 different areas. And out of these 17 different areas, there are at least 8 different areas which are very much closely related with the sustainable development of related to the innovation. And here I am sure that Mr. Chakraborty is going to give you an idea innovation in many of these particular, which will function with respect to these goals. Now, the term sustainable, I think, my dear students, you have to carefully note it down, because we may have number of innovations, but which are not related to sustainable, are not sustainable. That is actually going to lose its importance, and how actually innovation can be coupled with sustainability. That is very important, and I am very happy that you are going to cover that particular aspect. Because you know that recently there are number of innovations throughout the world which are coming and which are there, and they are existing for only a couple of years and then they vanish absolutely. But we have to think about innovations which has got a longer impact on our life and on how we are going to work it out. And I'm very happy that you are here and you are going to give this particular important area of where the students should know about it. And I also thank Madam Bose that you can identify the ambassador, Professor Dr. Shoikat Maiti from the Computer Science Department. Thank you, Shoikat, for actually taking this responsibility of Innovation Ambassador of Sister Nivedita University. And that's a very important role for you. And I'm sure that the workshop, what you are planning to take, is definitely going to be very, very useful for our students. Thank you everybody who are present over here, and let's have a very interesting program, first half and second half. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, we would like to welcome Ina Bose ma'am, the President of SNU IIC and HR Director.
Now we would again request our Honorable VC Sen to come on the stage and our Honorable guest, Mr. Chakraborty, to come on the stage. Please, sir. We would also request our friends. Thank you, sir. Now we would request Ina ma'am to say something.
Thank you, VC sir. Good afternoon, all my fellow colleagues here and my dear students. We are really very, very grateful for Mr. Digbijay Chakraborty, who he has agreed on a very short notice, just in probably 2 days notice, he has agreed to come over today and to give you a talk on a subject which is very close to his heart and to his profession. Just to tell you something, can anyone tell me, I'm sure you've heard the two words, invention and innovation. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between invention and innovation, my dear students? Yes, anyone please? Invention and innovation. What is invention? Come on. ছোটবেলায় পড়েছি ডিসকভার আর ইনভেন্ট দুটো তফাৎ কি? কে বলতে পারবে? What is discovery and what is invention? Yes, yes, come on. এসো বলো, দাঁড়াও. Come up, I can't hear you.
Discover new thing is known as invention, and to innovate the invention to make it very easy and very helpful, that's called innovation.
Easy and helpful. Now I'll tell you, something which is there but we are not aware of and someone finds it out is discovered. It was there but it was not known. So that's discovered. Invention is what? To create, ideate something that can be different. For instance, I have this mobile. Someone has invented this mobile, right? So that is invention. Now what is innovation? To make different, create different ideas of that invention. Shoes were invented sometime in the 13th century or 14th century by the Greeks or in Mesopotamia. Someone had invented shoes. But out of kids, it was Thomas Bata who invented kids, which can be cheaper, which can be easily accessible to the masses. So, out of that invention, something was innovated. I can say that I have this mobile and I'm innovating this to form a mouse. That's all, finished. I have innovated a mouse out of this mobile. But what next? How to execute the purpose? What will we do with that mouse? How will the mass get benefited out of that innovation? That is something dynamically, energetically, entrepreneurs should come up and find out how that innovation can be taken forward for the use of masses. There comes in entrepreneurship. I will not take much of your time. You need to be involved in the innovation culture. Mr. Chakraborty, I will not take your photo.
Now we would like to welcome our honorable guest, Mr. Chakraborty. Just a brief introduction. We all know that our honorable guest, Mr. Chakraborty, is the CEO of Sun Ecotech Ventures. And Sun Ecotech Ventures particularly focuses on the major areas like energy efficiency, ecological sustainable development, reducing harmful waste, reducing environmental impact, and one of the best use of the available resources where the fields are the fields on which Sun Ecotech Ventures particularly focuses on. And this company is certified under ISO, D DIBP and also registered under MSME, Government of India. Now I would not take any more time. The stage is for our honorable guest.
Thank you very much. I'm really touched and honored today. Today is the birthday of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. My respect and pranam to him on this important platform. The innovation guru is on his birthday, and we are today assembled, and it's a great honor indeed for me. It was a great pleasure meeting Honorable Vice Chancellor of System University, the Director HR, and many other functions, our beloved Mrs. Ina Bosch. Thank you so much for organizing not just this event but many events that I come to know time to time, and her involvement in various chambers and the business platforms, that is something very, very commendable. So I'm really honored again, and I really love to interact with the students. I don't know why, because number of occasions I could meet all the students across globe, I would say, because I have got the opportunity to work in almost 35 countries globally. So wherever I get a chance, I happen to meet the students. There are some reasons. Students are very young and dynamic, they are very energetic, they are very flexible, and they have the greater power of adaptation. They can move fast, and they are more mobile. So there are various factors, why the students should be more encouraged and to be interactive often. And this is my learning platform as well. That's why I love to interact with the students always. Again, thank you for this opportunity to interact with you all. As Madam started with invention and innovation and followed by its applications, let me tell you, because there are many theoretical aspects which I'm not going to cover. I'll be talking more about our story so that it can be more connected to our life. Our beloved anchors, they introduced the sustainable innovation when they talked about social, environmental and economic. They introduced that at the beginning itself. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor has also touched upon many areas what does sustainable innovation mean. And Honorable Mrs. Bosch, she has also emphasized that how the entrepreneurship from the invention and innovation and followed by its application, she has already touched. So coming to that, let me connect with some of the human aspects. So as I mentioned, all 3 points, that is the social, environmental and economic, another, the greatest power is the human resource. The human resource which are instrumental to connect all these 3 aspects. So my first point to share with you, that we as human beings, when we were in the mother's womb, what did we do? Almost 80 to 90 days we were in the womb of our mother. So we were silent, like we were more dependent on our mother. So we practically got nourished by all the nutrients, the environment, the protection, the physical safety and everything. We came out and then we saw the world. So when we came out, did we see the sky? We saw the sky, right? So that was not built by us. So we found the sky on our head. We could breathe, that means the oxygen in the air was there already. So we could breathe. And when in our mother womb also, we could breathe through her. So that means she could also breathe, that means the air was there consistently present. Then we know that 3/4 of the world, the earth, is water. So we have not invented that, it was there for us. We saw the soil, that is the ground. We knew the water under the ground, that was also there before us. If we ask our parents, if we ask our grandparents and before, everyone saw that. So what was there? So what we had done then? So we were there in the entire ecology, the ecosystem. We saw the plants and animals, we saw the trees, everything were there. So the human beings were there. So what have we done then? So whatever we do, and that's why the nature is called Mother Earth, so that is the linkage. Because after we were born, we were supported by oxygen, we were supported by entire ecosystem to live and grow. So that's why this nature is called Mother. So this is the connection of sustainability. The sustainability means whatever is there given to us, how to maintain that through our own innovations. So if we ask about the greatest innovation we have ever heard of, what do we say? The greatest innovation, maybe what we have learned, we have heard of, is what we are today. That is the human being. There cannot be any greater innovation than a human body system, and which is the most sustainable on this planet or in this world. We are more powerful than a supercomputer. So today we have all the students in front. They are from various streams. Maybe computer science. Can you relate the human body with computer science? Can you relate IT with the human body? Can you relate electronics and communication with the human body? Can you relate law with human body? So everything is found in the human body itself. So if you talk about the neurological, how the signals are, made, how the neurological signals are transmitted, how the body system works, how the fluidity works, how it works, how the nutrients, how the oxygen flows, how the blood flows, what's the function of blood. So we talk about the logistics. What can be a better logistics of human body than anything else? Because the blood is transmitted to the all cells, the millions of cells we have in the body. The heart is pumping and the blood is transmitting oxygen to there, all the cells. So that is the biggest example of the logistics. So if you talk about the cardiac science, if you talk about the neurology, if you talk about the nutrition, if you talk anything whatsoever, nothing can be a greater innovation than the human body. So my dear friends, do you know the innovator name? Perhaps you don't. Do you know who created human body? So perhaps you don't know. Can you tell who created the sky? Who created the ozone layers? Who created the oxygen? And who created the water, the soil, everything? Perhaps it was there. So my dear friends, whatever we do is the ancillary. Kindly understand that. We're not doing anything new. So don't be so proud of any innovation, because you know whether it is going to be sustainable, or as our Honorable Vice Chancellor said before, that if it dies early, that is no sustainability. So here lies the sustainability. The question of sustainable innovation lies there only. What is sustainable innovation means? Whatever is there in the nature, can we make it user-friendly? Because it is already there. You have all observed and experienced that during the pandemic situation, when our movement was so restricted, when many of us were confined within the four walls, and how clear was the environment. So everything was there in the nature, and for our own benefits, we are trying to make use of it. That means, if we are creating anything to combat the other things like a pollution or any other aspect which is hindering our growth and sustainability, we are innovating things. So that is actually what is called a sustainable innovation, nothing else. Now, we are giving a shape to our innovations for human use or for the living kingdom. It may be plant, it may be animal, it may be human. So it's a coexistence, and that is called the life ecosystem. So in this life ecosystem, whatever we are doing to support ourselves is called the sustainable innovation. Sustainable innovation could be, and coming to that even artificial intelligence can lead to sustainability. E-commerce system can lead to sustainability. The digital platform that we are most often using for various industries can have sustainability. And the Internet of Things, industrial Internet of Things, many things. So that can lead to sustainability, or that can help us remain sustainable. So these are all ancillaries. So what do we exactly mean as sustainable innovation? We mean, see, it is everything there in our world since our birth or before. We should not damage it, or we should rather protect it. And that is how our mission should be in life. So our entire organizational innovations are for the human or living world, which can support them and which is nature friendly. Now, coming to the point, we often talk at no plastic mission. See, plastic has become an integral part of our life. So we are not talking that every plastic has to be removed, because it has some larger benefits and support to the entire system. So what we are talking about no to plastic is a single-use plastic which is not decomposable and which it is choking the flow of water, and thereby it is increasing the accumulation or the germination of the virus, bacteria and many things, and thereby it is causing harm to the environment and to ourselves. So this is one of the innovation, the sustainable innovation that we have adopted first. That is, if you have to remove these plastic bags, what you really want to do? You have to create something which is decomposed. First innovation was, it's not that we are the first who has invented this, it was there, but we have given it a shape. So we started with oxo-biodegradable. That means in some time it will degrade. At least it will not cause harm for several years. So that is one aspect that we started with. Then we went for compostable. Compostable in the sense, after a certain days or period, it will start composing automatically whenever it comes in contact with the air or in soil. It will compose and degrade in the soil. So that is further advanced innovation that we do in terms of the compostable thing. So all our, the bioenemic things that we have done in our innovation that will help the nature to sustain, and it's a better living for us. Then we did another important thing. Say for example, the thermocol. Everywhere you go, anywhere you go in any shop or market, you will see the thermocol plates, bowls, all are spread. And people are using for their daily functions, or even home parties and everything, or daily use. What harm does it cause? It causes like this polypropylene and the composition that is not degraded or composed in the soil. As a result, it spoils the quality of soil, and thereby it pollutes the water, and which in turn is coming back to us and that we are drinking. And it is also causing harm to the planet, plants and trees, and stopping their growth. So that is one aspect. So to remove that, to replace that, what we have done, we have created few unique things. When we did it 10 years back, it was it's a big crowd in the Kolkata market. People came to see that. That we did from the betel nut and the palm leaves, that's the stem of those leaves. We made several types of plates and bowls, and gradually we made containers, food packaging things, and which is absolutely eco-friendly. So eco-friendly lifestyle is our main mission, and where we have created this as a replacement of the plastic and thermocol. That means the plates and bowls, what is served for food, you are having food on that. If you throw it out also in the ground, after that, through the garbage process, that compost in the soil, and as a result, it doesn't cause any harm to the nature. So these are some of the areas. So as I mentioned, the compostable, and then the bio-tableware as a replacement of the plastics and the thermocols that we have invented. So both are sustainable products in the market today. Another thing is the renewable energy. I think Honorable Vice Chancellor and Inadi both touched upon the energy efficiency. What is energy efficiency? Energy efficiency is, in the sustainability process, is less carbon footprint, is zero carbon emissions. So whatever we are using today, say for example when we are burning these fuels and when we are burning coals, it makes huge carbon emissions in the air, and that is precipitated and we breathe and causing major harm to the living substances in this world. So renewable energy is, in terms of solar energy or in terms of wind energy, we have multiple appliances. Through that, the solar plates, when they are used, yes, there is some emission, or there is some greenhouse emissions also. We know those items or those innovations are used to make this. But in long term, when we are using the appliances in a larger scale, they are carbon free, they are not emitting carbon, and they are also can be destroyed after their life, and it can be an electronic waste management where it can be recycled to some extent or it can be destroyed permanently. So it will not cause harm to the air, water and the soil. So this ecosystem which is helping us to live in this world, we are continuously putting our efforts to support that so that it becomes a better living condition for the world, for the humanity. So these are some of the areas. Now, in solar appliances, what we are doing? We are making solar lanterns. Many of you may say that, okay, we have seen solar lantern, what's great in it? The solar lantern, if you see in the rural areas, in the geographic areas where other things are not reaching properly to them, and most of the bigger companies, they are donating the solar lanterns to them. It is supporting the education system of the children, even for the daily activities of the households, supporting in a big way. That is one benefit of it. Then come to the solar home lighting system. If you see in the developed countries, every house is supposed to produce at least 20% of their energy. In fact, there are instances where if you use renewable energy, you get benefits out of that. Government gives you incentives for that. That means you are directly contributing and supporting the nature with this innovation. So at least 80% is coal burnt energy, that is electricity coming to you, and you are producing 20% which is renewable, and you are incentivized for that. And gradually you increase your production or usage, so you become more eco-friendly or environment-friendly. We have invented a solar cap. Believe me, in fact, we have other agricultural components also, which are eco-friendly. Even in a temperature like 40-42 degree temperature under the sun, where our farmers, brothers and sisters, they are working, give them a solar cap. It will keep your head cool for hours. As you know, that 80% of our heat, body heat generated in the head region, and that solar cap, whenever you are exposed under sun, the fan moves and keeps your head cool and your body temperature remains down and you are not affected by the sunstroke or any other burn. So that is one of the biggest application of solar things on ground. Then we have solar pumps, which can be submersible pump, which can be surface pump, and run by the solar system, where it is very, very economic in the sense you have to save electricity for running your agriculture or your factory or whatsoever. So for your daily living. So if you can minimize cost, if you can save cost, that will have a very positive impact on your growth and development. So you can employ more resources, or you can increase their incentives or salary and their living, and ultimately contributing to the nature. We have some of the thermal products where we don't even use the solar cells. Say for example a solar cooker. A solar cooker is basically having 4 containers that we make, and you are cooking your food under the sun, where all the nutrients are sustained in that. It does not vaporize and go out, and at the end when you eat the food, you will find the taste of the food is much more different and very tasty compared to what we do in our kitchen with the other things like the gases and electricity. This is what we do. We know there is a huge industry, all the factories and many industries, we need distilled water. We have a solar distillation plant which can make every day 3 liters and which is only thermal. We have a system, we expose it under sun, the water we give through inlet, it is vaporized and it creates the distilled water at the end of the day. And if you require more, you can attach those systems in rows and through the sets, and you get more output of the distilled water out of that. We have solar dryers. Many of the cases, if you see, that it is dried by electricity, particularly the food items, which contains large water, but when you require a dried food items, you need to dry it up either by electricity or by other means. So we have solar dryer, and it has multiple racks. You put this, and once you buy that system once, you need not to spend money further for the electricity bill and other things. And if you see the quality of dryness, that becomes much better, much faster, and much sustainable. So when you do the packaging later, it will remain intact for many days for transporting from here to there. So that is another system that we have. If you go to this Millennium Park or any other places where the country boats are there, you will see, just observe after this session, if you go nearby where the country boats are flying, you will see most of the country boats in Kolkata, we put solar panels on that. In the Millennium Park also, under the Howrah Bridge, the second Hooghly Bridge, you will see many boats are there, country boats. And even some of the other places also, in other districts also. Those country boats, they used to generate light in the evening by the generators. And on the river beach or the river bank, they're polluting the environment, and when the environment is cool in the evening, those emissions from their diesels, that creates a huge problem in the air, on the water So this solar board, country board system is giving them a very good support, and without any cost further, it has a battery support, which is a lithium-ion battery that we have supported with, and they can, run their business up till midnight. There is another system that we have generated through solar, which is sustainable. You know the fish culture. Any water body you see, 80% of the fish, the small fishes, the embryos and then the early grown fishes, they die because of lack of oxygen. Because if you have to circulate oxygen in the water body, you need the pump, and that pump capacity is fully dependent on the external electricity. We have the solar pumps for the fish culture, and which has increased the productivity of the fish, almost 50 to 60% initially, and now everybody is using and they're trying to use that for their pisciculture. So that is another area of innovation in the solar field. So I mentioned both with the solar cells and the panels, and without that, using the thermal procedure. So these are some of the sustainable innovations that we have made in that renewable energy sector. Then comes to another area, which is agriculture area. The organic agriculture, if you see, whatever we are eating at, during day, night, every day, you see that these organic things are not there, and all the fruits and vegetables are grown chemically. That means the fertilizer, the insecticides, the pesticides, all that we are giving to grow the vegetables and crops, that is chemical support system. We have generated the biofertilizer, micronutrients, growth regulators, pesticides, insecticides for different crops at a much cheaper cost, and this is supporting the huge production. If you see, the quality of the crops is much more increased, and the betterment of their size and its quality due to the organic farming. That also we are doing. So we have a big group working on the organic inputs, it is called, and supporting the agriculture and the farming. And we have a shelf life. We create a shelf life for all the substance. If you want, it can be transported to your home directly through our e-commerce site and e-commerce platform. You can book the order and it can reach you directly. So these are some of the items that we have been regularly producing just to support ourselves and supporting the nature and to protect the interest of the nature, so that it does not cause much harm to the society, to the nature. The most importantly, another part is we have the water products. We know that we create a lot of chemical application, and we apply a lot of chemicals on ground, so that the water under the ground becomes polluted, and we consume that in turn through the pumping system. So what happens there? We have the nanotechnology water filter. We have created that. And that is again created not by any other chemical, which is arsenic proof, which is fluoride proof, and which is other impurities proof. So you use that, and those are filtered within your system, and we are using all natural substance, which is basically the terracotta filter, which is used in the basic, one of the basic product, and followed by other higher substances like the arsenic filter and the fluoride filter. And the entire thing is filtered there before you consume. We have a lot of healthcare products. In this healthcare product, what we do, we have seen we were not knowledgeable enough before the pandemic. I mean the mass and large. We were knowing about the PPE kits the doctors using, the gloves the healthcare professionals using, the aprons the healthcare professionals using, even the masks that we are now used to with. So these can be all disposable and biodegradable, Earlier it was all polypropylene and the plastic made. We have created a textile based which is biodegradable, decomposable, and which is of huge demand at many places in the hospitals and other areas, even the hospitality industry like the restaurants and other food joints. They are using those gloves and aprons and the hair caps and all that stuff that we also make it. So these are some of the examples of the sustainable products or the innovation that we have been making regularly. And there is no end to it. See, when we talk about various aspects in the world, like say for example, nature has not told us to create weapons, right? To create weapons, bombs, it may be of various natures up to the nuclear bombs and all. Nature has not told us to do it. We the human, for our own interest of living, we are creating to create boundary and to dominate one over the other and all that stuff that we are doing. In turn, what we are doing, we are causing huge harm to the nature and ultimately which we are inhaling, we are breathing and we are dying early and our other diseases and all that thing happening regularly. My question is, for our own, that means one group is causing harm, the other group is trying to combat this. That means I am creating a pollution and the other group is coming, say don't create a pollution, we are there for waste management. It should have been other way. That we are a cleaner world, we are a sustainable world, we are helping each other and thereby the message should be, unless there is something enforced by the government and all, that you should be penalized or you should be punished for that. No one bothers to maintain that which we are already given by the grace of God and since our birth. So there lies, for every innovation, it has to be very, very sustainable in the sense it should be very useful for our use. Say for example, if you get up early in the morning, since you go to bed, whatever you use throughout the day, that can be sustainable in a large way. And that should be eco-friendly. Okay. Now we have another model is the eco-mobility that we have introduced. We all know that transportation is a very, very important aspect of that, of our daily life. So we have to move from here to there. For coming here, I have to travel 35 kilometers and I required a vehicle for that. So what we do, my car emitted, carbon in the nature. So whatever emission and the pollution checks that we do, we try to minimize it. But some of the eco or the electric vehicles that some of the countries have already taken bigger initiative, we are in a smaller form. We have also taken initiative, the eco two-wheelers we have introduced, which are battery operated vehicles. And those eco two-wheelers, they do not emit or eject any carbon in the society. They are less costly and they can run for more years. Only thing, we have to be a little careful about the battery operations, and if we are a little knowledgeable about that, so definitely it can be a very, very sustainable and a cheaper option for our transportation and mobility. So the entire gamut of activities, all the products and the innovations that we just mentioned, and there are many others. We have a sanitation product which is called the bio toilet that we have introduced. If you see, there are many fairs, there are many events on the ground happening, and now our pollution control department, they are more sensitive and they are giving circular that you cannot maintain this or you cannot throw these things outside on the ground and you will be penalized for that. What we have invented is a bio toilet. We have a very, very modern model of bio toilet and which has a biodigester. So at one place itself, you can use the biodigester and within few days, the excretion will be in like a normal, bacteria-free and a clean water form so that it does not cause any harm to the nature. So these are some of the things that we mentioned. We talked about the rainwater harvesting earlier. Rainwater harvesting is one of the very, very important aspects. We know the ground level water is, getting dried and getting less day by day. So there's a huge concern for the corporates, for all the large bodies and for ourselves that if the groundwater is decreased, level is decreased, then how to survive. So there is the water recycling process that Sanico Tech Ventures that we are doing. We are holding the rainwater whenever there is a rain on a broader surface. We are holding that, we are recycling in the sense we are filtering that through our other process, the nanotechnology process, and we are recycling the water for our daily consumption. If a human family every day average consumes more than 150 liters of water, so that can be recycled and that can be supplied by the water harvesting. And it can be used by the corporates where the water meter is now going to be introduced, and in Kolkata and some other places already there. So you use more water and you are chargeable for that. So the rainwater harvesting is one of the another sustainable product innovation that we have been using this. So at the end, whatever we do, I think Ma'am also mentioned that it is the invention or innovation to wherever we go. We call it eye to eye. That means innovation to invoicing. If your innovation cannot be commercialized, then that innovation will have no purpose, or as the Honorable Vice Chancellor mentioned, that it will die early and that will not be effective, because in the process you must have consumed a lot of human capital, you have spent a lot of money on that, and then you stop it because the entire thing becomes a waste, it's a loss. So any organization, so you have to keep in mind, whatever innovation you think of, may it be a technology innovation, may it be a product innovation, and may it be a service innovation. So everywhere it should be sustainable in the sense it can support the mainstream business, and it should be economical so that the company or the organization grows faster, earns more profit, and they spend that money for another innovation without any hindrance. So these are some of the things that we have to always keep in mind, that technology is the applicable technology. Say for example, we are talking about sustainable product. Now behind that, many of you may be thinking, okay, you are talking about all the products. Say for example, banking is a product. It is not a new product, right? The current account, savings account, and some of the bank schemes, we all know since our childhood and even our parents. So what is new in this banking system? There's a lot of fintech applied in that. That means our computer science people, our IT people, our electronic people all have the role there to support the growth of the sustainability business so that it becomes more customer friendly. Say for example, whatever payment gateway we are using, even sitting in a far distant place in USA, UK, Canada, anywhere, one can buy our product in few seconds, not even minutes today. That means the application of fintech in that, our payment gateway is supporting there. And whenever it is integrated, how the payment is realized and how the payment, if suppose you cancel the order, say for example, Amazon platform that you talk about, the Flipkart platform that you talk about, or any e-commerce platform you talk about, you are buying, you are also cancelling the order, and somebody is doing the both. Somebody is supplying, somebody is taking the return in no time. So that is also sustainable in the sense that the product is the main thing, that is the object. And then, so one is the lokho, the other thing is the upalokho. Lokho hoche product power, upalokho hoche how soon you can get it, how you can enjoy this, how it can be cost effective, and when you next order that particular product. So once you get the benefit, you will next order that product again. So my business will grow and increase, and I can expand my boundary. So everything is sustainable. So don't be misguided that sustainable means I am talking about nature means the IT person doesn't have any role there, or a computer science person doesn't have a role there, or a pharmacy person or a management professional doesn't have a role there. So we all have huge role to make things sustainable and to make it more beneficial for the society. So anything you do, friends, think that how it will help your neighbor, how you can can stop causing harm to your neighbor. Neighbor means it can be your next door, neighbor means it can be your neighboring country or whosoever. And within your family also, how does it benefit your members and how it does not cause any harm to any of your stakeholders. So that is called the innovation, and the real innovation by all means, and which are sustainable. So it can be a technology innovation, it can be a product innovation. But now it is another trend I observe, because the social media is very, very prominent and vibrant. Many people think that if I don't talk about AR, VR, IoT and all these things in the social media, so probably think that I am somebody less. Because it is not the case. Imagine our product. See, for example, this desk here. This is the product. Okay? You are supporting this with some other things, like a microphone, or an internet, or a mouthpiece, or other wooden platform and all that. Maybe the main product is different, which is for human consumption or a living consumption. But it is supported by other functions to make things more effective, to expedite its efficacy or the delivery, everything related, and it is one other related. And that's why, whenever we talk about a product per se, it should be a 360-degree approach that one should take. It is not just a product. Say, for example, many of the products that we have produced or we have been produced, we had to give it an aesthetic, feel to that. We have to make it more attractive to our customers. Its look should be more attractive. Its packaging should be more attractive. I give you one final example of our innovation. You all know that we do puja at home, in whatever form it is. We may be doing Durga Puja in the society of Durga Puja. We may be doing a housewarming party. We may be doing any other thing, Annuprashan, that is the rice ceremony. Even from birth to death, we are doing puja at home. Now imagine, our parents are old, children are staying abroad or elsewhere. How the puja can be conducted at home? We all know that it requires some material like Dashakarma. We know that there are some, other puja accessories, the puja samagri that we call. We have integrated everything under Sani. Believe me, it was my passion. I was talking to the Sanskrit department of University of Calcutta for the last few years. I think it's something it was haunting me continuously, that many of us, because of lack of time or lack of energy or disability or anything, whatever we feel in mind, we can't do that because it is not available, and I cannot go to the shop and buy 100 such things from different areas and then call a Purohit and come and conduct the puja, and then how do I send it outside. Believe me, this puja kit today, 24 different overseas locations, they have ordered puja kit to us this year. And this puja kit, you will be surprised how unique is this. This is totally eco-friendly puja kit. We have a green packaging in the whole thing. There are sorted Dashakarma, which is not in the plastic pouch. These are all eco pouch. Even including the topor of the board during the marriage, that is also eco-friendly, and that can also be packed in such a way that we can, make it a 5-layer carton, which is an eco paper carton, and then we send abroad. Including the earthen pots like Matir Ghat, Matir Pradip and everything, including the Chandmala for decorating the idols and puja and the places. That also we have aggregated in such a manner that it is now the end product is looking very attractive and the cost is also very effective. It is just a click away. You go to our site and just click and buy it, it will reach your home without any hassle. And there are options also, there are query options also. In the query, you can mention the some of the additional products that you require, which is not part of that. Even that can be accommodated. The flowers can be accommodated. The shaka can be added to that. The flowers can be added to that. Now, if I give it to this, somebody might tell me that okay, it's not that. As long as it is creating that kind of essence in your mind, it is serving that purpose in your life, and you are getting enjoyment out of that. You are fulfilling your needs and demands. You are serving to others gracefully with a pride that see these products have come to my house. So what I know, once I reach your home with a puja kit, there are many other, at least we have another 2,000 items. You will keep giving orders to us, and we can make an entry path through that product in your household. And ultimately our aim is, to become a household name, of this venture. So this is, don't think that, okay, I'm studying computer science, or I'm studying medical, or anything else. That means I do not have a role in sustainable innovation. Each and everybody has a role in the sustainable innovation, and that's why we can grow together. Together, we can be more sustainable. Together, we can really contribute in a much bigger way to the society, to the nature, and become much economical at the end of the day. So, should I end here? If you wish. So I think it's a great pleasure, addressing all of you, and thank you very much for a patient hearing. And if there is any other query later also I can address. I have the contact details with ma'am, and thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an enlightening session, from making us understand how human body is one of the greatest innovation to what life ecosystem is. It has really been a very enriching session for all of us present here. Thank you so much.
Now, we would like to take questions from the audience. Yes, anyone? Yes.
First of all, sir, not only thank you for this presentation, but for the efforts that you take for giving us such a sustainable planet and a sustainable living, right? So while I was listening to you, since I'm also a little interested in organic farming, I am working here as the head of the Department of Law. As the head of the Department of Law, but I am a little interested in organic farming, and as a family we try to practice it to a little extent. So hearing your deliberation when you were speaking of the solar caps, which you say are very not only eco-friendly, but it will actually help to groom those workers who are working in the agricultural fields. What about the cost efficiency of these solar caps? I mean, how affordable are they?
It's around 300-350 rupees.
Okay, and what would be the longevity of these products?
Forever,
Really so. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we can go to your website and order them, right? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, sir, I have a question. I'm from Department of Law. So particularly NGT and all other local administrative bodies as well in various parts of our country and in our city, they are doing a lot to make common people aware of the eco-friendly products and particular all this. Particularly, sir, in rural area, when we are discussing about agriculture, how we would make our farmers more aware in this process, because they have no such education, particularly in very rural areas of our country.
You will be surprised to know the answer from me. They are more aware than us. We don't have to make them aware because the culture, the entire ecosystem is generated from there only. They know much better because we have recently introduced, thank you very much for this question, because it's the other way. Suppose, your question is like, we are producing something like a metro city and we are going back in the backward integration and just making them aware. In recent times, Malaria No More is a very big worldwide organization whose mission is to eradicate malaria by 2027. So I was invited in New Delhi this last November for how eco-friendly lifestyle can help to eradicate malaria. Just see the extent of this sustainable innovation. And there, if you see, the major cause of malaria is the stagnant water, and where the mosquitoes are, they are, growing fast, and they are spreading, and once it bites one person, and then that person becomes infected and goes to the other, and infection spreads. This eco-friendly thing, one villager told us that how the water body can be cleaned by this sustainable innovation so that the malaria can be eradicated. So it's the other way. Now we are learning from the villagers that it is something difficult for us to clean the water body or make it more flowing, and they are helping us in that. We are just giving some of the products which are basically does not choke or does not make any congestion in the water flow, and there our product is the biodegradable, the compostable things, particularly the plastic pollution is a huge one, and there they are helping us. In fact, before that also, if you see the interior of Odisha, where the malaria was the major, and it was devastating, and they know how to use this. I was talking about the bio tableware, which is Supari Pata, or the Tal Pata dietary waste. Initially, it was not like so attractive, but now if we show you, you will be fascinated. Believe me, you will not use any other tableware. And the sustainability again commercially is a big question today. Like when we produce, we put in so much of efforts, money, time, and everything, and we see there are not many consumers appreciating this or appreciating or not translating into money. We look for the importers or the global consumers. Now the situation is 10% of our production comes to the domestic market and 90% because of our own sustainability and survival, we have to send outside and export. So that is my fear. So sooner we appreciate this, sooner we adopt this, is all good for us. Because there we'll get more price, there we'll get more appreciation, and we know the employees and our human resources, those who are working with us, we can also retain them for a longer time, or for, it can be more futuristic than, attempting and trying and, relentlessly in the domestic market where people don't adopt it. So this is the sad story of it, but yes. So nowadays, that's why we call it the entire world is our market. We have redefined our market in a different way. We don't say that Kolkata is our market as because we are sitting in Kolkata, because our survival is more important if we have to really continue with these innovations and development.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, we are doing some project on aquaponics and hydroponics for smart agriculture. So basically, the layering of the fisheries, the poultry, as well as the agriculture. You have to make an ecosystem on the IoT base. So everything will become automated, right? So is there any way, is there any possibility of the collaboration with you or for the industry if we want to do some projects?
Absolutely, because I was talking the same thing to Mrs. Ghosh when I was at
Mr. Bangladesh is booming on the basis of this idea. And the aquaponics and the hydroponics and everything. The agriculture.
We tried this, I'm not taking the name here, with one management institution recently.
I have a question.
So we tried that with one management institution because they presented a model in one of the entrepreneurship competition with this aquaponic. So in a 4x4 square feet area at home, we can produce fish, we can produce lot of vegetables, and as you rightly say, that it can grow so fast in organic way. So it can really cater to the need of 4 or 6 persons family in a long term at a very
no manual intervention is required for that.
Sorry?
No, manually, basically the monitoring system is not required. Everything will become the automated.
Yes, you can do that. See the basic model.
We have already designed the model and everything. So next just wanted to.
Would love to commercialize it together. Yeah. Okay, because ultimately it's a brick and mortar. Okay, yeah. The system is brick and mortar. Whatever we do, then we add values. We add technology to that so that it becomes more productive and it becomes more usable. So let's do it.
Thank you, sir. First of all, it was a beautiful presentation. There are many things that we don't have idea that we all came to know from it. So I have one question, that whenever I was during my undergraduate course, I went to Gangasagar, and at that time, the solar electricity was there, as normal electricity was not there. But in this long course, the solar electricity couldn't take the place of normal electricity. So what do you think that, what is the drawback that solar electricity has increased, but why solar electricity cannot compensate or cannot replace the normal electricity? And what is the probability of innovation which can enrich this solar electricity?
See, there is already huge innovation in this field, I tell you. But it's the will of the people who will be using it. Now, you install a solar street light, as you talked about Gangasagar. Okay, so there basically the solar street light is required. And you put it. Okay, now, you have to buy it because it has a cost. So if you don't want to spend that money, I can't help. I can only tell you that your entire night consumption of the conventional electricity, you can reduce that cost. And once you install this and if you maintain it, so you will not require any cost because the street light is only for the darkness, right? So there you don't require the conventional electricity by paying electric bill. So in today's street lights, you'll be surprised, this is fully automated in the sense it has panel integrated, it has battery integrated, it has sensor integrated. That means unnecessarily it will even not work if not required. Suppose you are moving through that, the sensor will immediately catch and it will immediately be on. The moment there is no requirement, so it will be off. That means how much battery consumption that also you are saving at the end of the day. So instead of every day, you are charging the battery or using the conventional, electricity from West Bengal State Electricity Board or CESC, you can have all these things, and it is free of your maintenance. Maybe once in 3-4 months, you just clean the panel, the dust on the panel, and that will give you the long service forever. So lot of development, lot of innovation and scientific development has been already done on this. If you want, it can be sprayed, in a larger scale. And another thing is, as you mentioned about the Gangasagar, what is the budget of any Kumbh Mela sanitation? Last year it was 967 crore by Government of India. The Kumbh Mela year sanitation budget. Sanitation budget means what? Major part is the bio-toilet. You install there, and there can be mobile bio-toilet now. It can move from here, there and cater to all the groups. Okay, there can be, gender-specific toilets, and it immediately through the biodigester decomposes it, and the output is just like a normal water. I won't be surprised if one drinks it in that without any harm. So you are, protecting the nature. You are not spoiling it. You are not, rather you are helping the mass through that, and they don't have to stand in queue for that kind of activities, and this is very, very totally eco-friendly and biodegradable in nature.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. We learned a lot, really we learned a lot. Now I would like to welcome our own Reena ma'am to the stage to have the ending note.
Mr. Chakraborty, that was awesome. I'm sure, like your examples have opened our eyes. I'm sure the students have got not many ideas to ponder upon, and of course, Devasri and from Shukru, and of course, he has got, one has got some fabulous idea to get associated with you. Maybe in the coming days, coming years, we'll have really some fruitful projects with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really honored.
Oh yes.
Committee members, please on stage. Please, sir. Please, ma'am.
Also, if there are any student members of the IIC, I know both of you are, kindly please, we have to take a photograph. Professor Mukherjee, no, doesn't matter, please. We'll be happy to have you. And Professor Maiti, for this we would like to, yes, you can come but he's our next session. He'll be chairing the next session on a very important topic for the workshop.
First few rows of students come up.
Yes, why don't you guys come up as well? I have to.
Students can come.
I have to definitely thank the students of the Computer Science Department and the Mass Communication and Journalism Department, especially today, because they have designed the QR code that will give out the certificates. A big thank you, a big applause for all of you. This is your work. IIC students is about to, we would expect more participation from the students, and I am sure we can only, our generation people, we talk about sustainability a lot, but I'm sure our students will really apply that in their lives. I have seen it, and I'm extremely hopeful that they will give us a more sustainable planet through their ideas. Thank you so much. Yeah.
বা কাউকে একটা